Hello, I am Ruby Northcutt.
And I'm Karen Wilson, and this is the Up Beat.
During the show, we will be talking with individuals from within our own community and beyond.
We'll discuss topics and issues that are relevant to our guest and the multifaceted roles they take on in society.
This is the Up Beat.
Hi, I'm Karen Wilson, and welcome to the Up Beat. On today's show, we're going to start with performer and artist, vocal artist, Diana Pelham. She is visiting us from Goodlettsville in the Nashville area. She's working on breaking into a career as a country music singer. We're going to talk to Diana about going from a homemaker and a wife to breaking into the music industry. Then we're going to speak with local author Allie Hyatt. She is going to talk with us about the evolution that she has made in her life from homemaker to nurse to author, and how she has cultivated her love of writing into a creative outlet and how our audience might be able to do that. Then we're going to finish our show back with Diana Pelham, and she's going to sing for us. We are really looking forward to that. Thank you so much for joining us on the Up Beat. Hi, I'm Karen Wilson, and welcome to the Up Beat. Today we have with us the lovely Diana Pelham, just in from Goodlettsville. Yes. Diana, thank you so much for making the trip down here to visit us in McMinnville. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a singer and a performer, and I guess I consider myself a performing artist slash vocalist, and I've recently moved with my husband to Goodlettsville. He had a new job. We moved from McMinnville, so that's our connection with McMinnville. My husband's from McMinnville, and currently I'm pursuing singing full-time, so that's what I'm here for.
Well, the music industry, you know, fresh on the heels of the Grammys,
yes.
It's very fascinating. It's kind of like the Hollywood, I guess, of Tennessee.
In Nashville, for sure.
Yes,
yeah.
definitely so. Tell us what it's like trying to break into that industry.
I could probably talk for hours about this, but I don't want to bore anybody. But when you say Hollywood, it is very much so, but at the same time, I was talking to some people before our segment, it's different in the fact in Nashville as far as, even though it's such a large music business, it still feels like a small town. Everybody knows somebody who knows somebody, you know, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. But as far as breaking into it, I think it's just one of those things that you just have to step out and do. I did not have any, I guess I almost fell into it as far as pursuing it as a career. I used to teach full-time. I actually taught at Warren County High School, taught 9th grade English, and on my honeymoon, I got a call from a producer and who produced some of Billy Ray Cyrus's thing. He was a little bit older producer, and he was actually living in Clarksville, which is where I'm from, and he heard me sing and wanted me to come in and choose some songs and record a professional CD in a professional studio, and basically to see if you get a record deal. Now, long story short, that was just like the tip of the iceberg. We wound up not going to record labels, which hindsight, it was kind of a blessing in disguise, but that's kind of what made me go, I want to do this for a living. And then you pretty much have to take it on yourself from there. So there's no real formula to do it. It's just kind of putting yourself out there and trying.
Okay. Now, you mentioned teaching, and you're also what I would consider still a newlywed. You've been married probably
3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Exactly.
What's it like juggling? Those are two very different roles, the artist world versus the more structured teaching and wife role.
You are so right. And I will tell you, I had a little bit of an issue when I decided to stop teaching. And when we moved, and we just prayed a lot about it, if things worked out, that I could quit my job and be able to pursue music full time, so I can feel like I'm really putting my full 100% effort into it, then it will happen. And it did. Things just wound up falling into place. My husband got a new job that enabled me financially to be able to do this just enough. But going from such a structured, you go to school from 7 to 3, and this is what you do after school, and then you cook dinner, and you have a very structured life, to going, now what am I doing during the day? You have to make your own schedule. For the first 2 or 3 months, I was really struggling with it as far as feeling productive and feeling like, am I holding down my role as a wife? Am I holding down my role as, as pulling my weight in this marriage and in our life together? But then you just have to have faith, and you have to just keep going and keep looking for opportunities, and those opportunities come.
So what's your average day like? Do you,
Right now?
Yeah, or is there an average day?
There is no real average day, but I'll tell you, I guess, this week. How about I'll give you this week, for example. This week was actually, I like to be busy. Like, busy is a good thing, in music. Some days there will be nothing. And then the next, it's like either all or nothing. It'll all come at once or not at all. But this week, for example, this past weekend I performed 2 or 3 different places, and then Sunday I had a rehearsal, and then that night I had an audition, and then went to Nashville, talked to management, booking agencies Monday, Tuesday. I have a part-time development coordinator job at our local YMCA, which is nice because that's where I work out. So that makes it convenient. And then coming up here on Wednesday, and then I have a show tomorrow, which takes up the majority of the day, and then Friday, I have a couple of meetings in Nashville. So that's just kind of one of those things.
So it sounds like a pretty
it's
crazy
sporadic.
schedule. Yes,
it's sporadic,
I
yes.
understand.
Yes.
Now, you're also a writer as well as a performer. What would you say is your favorite, writing or performing?
I would definitely say performing. When we talk about songwriting and performing, have I written a few songs like with my brother and whatnot? Yes. As far as knowing it's going to be a #1 hit right now, no. As far as how going into the business is that especially with country, now other realms I'm not real sure about. With country, they're one of the few genres left that they have their own community of songwriters. You hear about the famous songwriters, and the Brett James who wrote Jesus Take the Wheel, and the Hillary Lindsay who's written several things, and you have George Strait has his songwriter. You wind up, if you get lucky enough to get enough into the business to where you collaborate with those songwriters, they mentor you into songwriting. Mm-hmm. And right now I'm beginning to write with a female from Belmont who she does songwriting for a living.
Lots of musicians.
Lots of musicians from Belmont. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
they can major in anything from commercial voice to songwriting. But it's just one of those things that's more of a process. But I know that what I'm going for is performing, because that's what I love. That's kind of my passion. So.
Right. Okay. Tell us a little bit about your next project that you have coming up. I'm sure it's very exciting.
Oh, goodness. Well, actually, what I've been working on from about October till, about September to December, was working with a graphic designer and putting together a professional press kit. And, it's just one of those things that it's a small investment that you make, and so far I think it's paid off, because you have a professional resume, and my resume does not look like, my artist resume does not look like my teacher resume.
Right,
And that's something that
sure.
It's, the more creative, the better. And coming up with my own logo that I use that's copyrighted to me, we've designed that together. And I've used that to take to managers and booking agencies and whatnot, and to venues that are quality venues in Nashville. So that's what I was doing in January, and from then on, we have several shows that, for example, this Thursday we have one at 3rd and Lindsley, and we have one coming up very soon in Douglas Corner. We're playing a festival, Rivers and Spires in Clarksville, and those have all led because of press kits, and we are in talks with management. So
it's a good investment to take the time to do the press kit.
Yes, and you never know what you're going to get. I mean, you know, out of every 10 managers or booking agencies you go to, they'll toss it aside. This is how it goes. But there'll be one, hopefully, that will take the time to listen to it, hopefully go, I'd like to go see this person live.
Well,
and that's kind of what I want to hook them into, is seeing us live.
Well, thank you so much, Diana. We appreciate you being here with us.
Thank
you
you
so much to our viewers, and stay with us, because in a few minutes after our next segment, Diana's going to be performing for us. So stay with us on the Upbeat. Welcome back to the Upbeat. Now I would like to welcome our special guest, local author Allie Hyatt.
Hi.
Good to have you here. Thank you so much for coming and joining us in our new show, and we appreciate you coming very much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Allie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm first of all a mother, wife, grandmother, nurse, writer.
So you have a lot of different roles
I
in
have
life.
Done a lot of different things.
I remember you as the mother of one of my classmates, so I know you more in the mother role, but it sounds like your life has changed a lot since those years. Tell us, you've gone back to nursing school during that time. What made you decide to take that on in that part of your life?
I always wanted to be a nurse, but I got married first and had my children, and became the mother first, but I always had the dream of being the nurse, always had a dream of being a writer. So the nurse was a good profession to go into as far as the medical field is concerned, and it actually is a job that is rewarding, not only in a monetary value, but the value that you have of giving to others.
Was that difficult, going back to school with small children and trying to maintain your role as a homemaker while studying, and nursing is certainly an intensive program to study?
Yes, it was very challenging. I had to, first of all, I had the dream, and I had to make a goal for myself to fulfill that dream, and then I made a plan to fulfill that dream, as treated it just like a business plan. So I came up with a system that worked for me. I would make our meals during the week and prepare those and put them in the freezer so we'd have home-cooked meals. And I would take a chance and do my laundry on the weekends and have all of that done, the house cleaning. But while all of that was going on, I would also have my books laid out on the countertop wherever I was working, and study at the same time in between all of the other responsibilities that you have. Of course, my major and my priority was with my children and my family. So I made sure that that came first, and I worked while I was working on the challenge of becoming the nurse. And nursing school is very challenging. It's almost a militant type setting. You have to almost eat, think, and sleep nursing while you're going through the system of getting into the nursing school.
So I guess as a young mother, that's a huge role to take on and maintain your homemaker obligations as well. Sometime during this time, I guess you had begun writing, which is another challenging creative outlet. Tell us a little bit about how you started writing.
Well, actually, I started writing when I was about 16, and I would write short stories and poems, and I would take those to my mother. She was my mentor then, and she would read those, and she was always very encouraging. She would say, "Oh, this is wonderful, honey, you know, just keep this up." And at that time, I'm sure it was not so wonderful, but it was just the fact that she was so encouraging with it, and I saved all of those. And then, of course, later on, when my children were small, I would write short stories and read them to my girls at bedtime. And I always read books to them, but I would always read some things that I had written to them at bedtime. And that was just like our little time that we had for the writing and the reading and the creative processes.
Right. I guess that encouraged them to pursue creative outlets in their own lives as well, remembering back to those bedtime stories and
That's
things.
true.
I've got a copy of your book here, Meg's Challenge, which has a beautiful cover on it. Tell us a little bit about your book, Meg's Challenge. What is the plot of the story?
Actually, the true plot is a subtle plot. It's based on patience, and the story starts out with the grandmother and the granddaughter in a kitchen setting.
Grandster, I think is
Grandster.
her.
The character is Grandster, and the main character is Meg. And Meg has her heart set on this red, shiny four-wheeler. That's all she can think about. Everyone else has a red, shiny four-wheeler or some other color, but I don't have one. And then she says, and all Grandpa is buying is all of these old burros. I cannot figure out why he's buying all of these old burros. And she says, I'm never going to get my red, shiny four-wheeler. And so Grandster makes her a challenge right then. She says, wait, watch, and see. You'll find out why Grandpa's buying all of those burros.
Do you think that's a good philosophy in life to, I guess, to instill in children to wait, watch, and see, instead of we're a pretty fast-paced society now and everything goes by pretty quickly, and I think those are points that we often forget these days.
And that's true, and the farm life is certainly an area to have that wait, watch, and see, because when you are growing things like your garden, or if you're a farmer and this is your major income, you always have to wait, watch, and see what happens. It could be the weather, it could be bad seeds, it could be the fact that your health has not helped you plant that year. Just different types of things. So yes, patience is good in all walks of life.
Right. Tell us a little bit about future projects that you're working on. Do you see another novel in your future?
I do. I'm currently working on one. I'm not sure how long that's going to be. Hopefully it won't be as long as the last one has been.
Well, I know there's lots of authors out there that take years to write novels, so that's understandable. They say it's truly such a part of you that you can't just do it overnight, so I'm sure it's a long process.
It is. Some days I may get 2 paragraphs written. Other days I may not get anything written. I may think about what I want to write, but I may not get it written down that day.
What is your advice for a woman out there wanting to pursue a creative outlet such as writing?
Well, if you choose something that's a creative talent that you have and make a profession out of it, I feel that that creativity is a driving force and becomes an invention, or the wheels of the invention, or puts you as a driver behind the wheels of invention.
The creativeness will drive,
And then once you get to the point of where you have the invention, then I believe that you will follow it through.
Well, quickly tell us where someone could purchase Meg's Challenge.
Meg's Challenge can be purchased at most major bookstores, online like Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble. And here in McMinnville we have Hastings, and Hastings in Tullahoma, Hastings in Murfreesboro. And I know there are numerous others on the online right now.
Very good. Thank you so much, Allie. I did not know you had that wonderful talent, and that's interesting to know. We'll be right back with a great performance from Diana Pelham and come back with the Upbeat. Welcome back to the Upbeat. As promised, we are back with the lovely Diana Pelham, and she's going to sing us a great song called I Will Remember You. Take it away, Diana.
Thank you. sure as the sun will find the sky, there will be times we wonder why. One must stay and one must go, but either way, I hope you know. Make my world a better place, put a timeless smile upon my face, and we may cry a tear or two, but forever, ever knows it's true. I will remember you. This life we live flies by so fast. You never know how long it lasts. But when we give a love so strong, it will live on and on, yeah. You make my world a better place, put a timeless smile upon my face, and we may cry a tear or two, but forever, ever knows it's true. I will remember you. So close your eyes and feel my presence. I will see yes it is. Let's live our lives while we have time, with hopeful hearts and open minds. And I will try before I leave, touch someone like you touched me. You make my world a better place, put a timeless smile upon my face, and we may cry a tear or two, but forever, ever knows it's true. I will remember you. I will remember
Wow, that was amazing.
Thank
you
you.
so much
Thank
for
you.
coming. That song was truly inspirational. Tell us a little bit about the background of that song.
Well, that song, it's called I Will Remember You, and it was actually originally written for military families. Because if you think about it, it's about losing somebody, but I really love singing that song because even though it is about loss, it has such a positive, upbeat message along with the music is upbeat as well. So you're tapping your foot along, but when you actually think about the lyrics, it really has a deep meaning, and we've gotten a lot of response from our fans and audience members who've been touched by that song.
Well,
so it means a lot to me to sing.
Yes, very uplifting. I will listen to the lyrics even closer next time because that is very inspirational that it was written for them.
Thank you.
What a great way to end our show today. Thank you so much for being here, Diana, and making the trip to
Thank you for
McMinnville to be
having
with
me.
us. And I'd like to say thank you to Allie Hyatt, our local author, for coming and talking to us about her book, Meg's Challenge. You can pick that up on Amazon.com and at local bookstores. Want to invite you, the audience, back to be with us. We're on every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. We hope this show has inspired you and the women that we've had on it. We want to continue this every week and show you inspiring women in our community and beyond. Thank you for watching The Upbeat.